A wedding at Heartland, but not the one fans ever imagined. Season 19 explodes with a twist that has left viewers stunned. Amy Fleming, the heart of the ranch, is suddenly standing at the altar with Nathan. Yes, Nathan, the man who seemed like an outsider just a few years ago. The quiet, unexpected ceremony is more than just a marriage. It's a storm that shakes every corner of the Heartland Ranch and every relationship Amy holds dear. Before we talk about the shocking marriage, let's go back for a moment. Season 18 ended with Amy facing some of her hardest struggles yet. She was torn between carrying on Ty's legacy and finding her own path. The weight of raising Lindy alone, managing the horses, and keeping the ranch spirit alive fell directly on her shoulders. Fans watched as Amy stood strong, but you could also feel her loneliness and emptiness that no amount of ranch work or family gatherings could fully fill. At the same time, Heartland itself was changing. Lou was pushing the family toward modernization, Jack was clinging to tradition, and the younger generation was slowly finding their own voice. The ranch was not just a home anymore, it was a battlefield of old values and new ambitions. Every dinner table conversation seemed to carry tension, and Amy was caught in the middle, trying to keep peace while also carrying her own grief. And then, in the midst of all this, Nathan returned. Some fans remember him as a steady, dependable presence from earlier seasons. A man who always seemed like he was in the background, reliable but never in the spotlight. In season 18, his quiet support for Amy grew into something more visible. He wasn't loud about his feelings, but he was there at the right moments, helping with Lindy, showing up when Amy felt isolated, and proving himself as someone she could lean on. This is where season 19 picks up. The writers cleverly use Nathan's growing role to set the stage for something explosive. Amy isn't rushing into love, but she's searching for stability, for someone who can help her shoulder the weight of a future she never planned for. The ranch is buzzing with tension. The family is balancing on thin ice, and right at the center of it all is Amy, standing on the edge of a decision that will shock everyone. It begins quietly. No grand build-up, no flashy announcement. Just a hush that falls over the ranch like the calm before a storm. Early in season 19, episode 1, viewers sense something unusual brewing around Amy. She carries herself differently, more resolved, more secretive. Jack notices, of course. He always does. But when he asks, Amy brushes him off with that practiced smile, the same one she has used for years to hide the weight of her heart. Then, without much warning, the camera cuts to a scene fans never thought they would see. Amy standing in front of a small group, dressed in simple white, her eyes steady but trembling beneath the surface. The man at her side? Nathan, the quiet ranch hand who once seemed like background, now standing as the center of the storm. The vows are simple, heartfelt, yet they strike like thunder. Amy is not only moving forward, she is marrying a man almost no one expected. This twist works because it's not played as a grand spectacle. There are no hundreds of guests, no extravagant music. Instead, the wedding is stripped down, intimate, raw. It feels more like a choice of survival than a celebration of romance. The writers crafted it in a way that leaves fans breathless, asking, is this truly love, or is it Amy choosing stability for herself and Lindy? The reactions in the room tell the story just as much as the vows. Jack looks as though the ground has been pulled out from under him. His silence is louder than any words could be. Lou cannot mask her shock, whispering to herself as if trying to process the impossible. Even the younger family members exchange glances filled with disbelief. And Lindy, innocent, wide-eyed Lindy, clutches Amy's hand, too young to fully understand, yet sensing the magnitude of the moment. Nathan, for his part, is calm, almost too calm. He doesn't bask in triumph, nor does he shrink under the weight of judgment. He simply stands there, solid, unwavering, as though he has been preparing for this role all along. That calmness, that unshakable presence, is perhaps what Amy saw in him. He isn't Ty, he never could be, and the show never pretends otherwise. But he represents something Amy desperately needed, an anchor. And so, in one bold scene, Heartland tears open its own history. For years, fans have tied Amy's identity to Ty, to the love story that defined her youth and motherhood. This marriage to Nathan is not about rewriting that history, it's about forcing Amy and the viewers to confront the painful truth. Life doesn't freeze after loss. It twists, it bends, and sometimes it leads to decisions that feel almost unthinkable. As the episode moves on, the ripples of this marriage begin to spread. The ranch feels different. The family feels fractured. Conversations turn heated, whispers run through the community, and the question on everyone's mind is the same. Why Nathan? Why now? The brilliance of this twist is not only in shocking the audience, but in daring them to reconsider what they thought they knew about Amy. She isn't the grieving widow frozen in the past. She's a woman making a choice whether fans agree with it or not. And that choice changes the entire DNA of Heartland moving forward. The wedding may have ended with vows spoken and rings exchanged, but the silence that follows is louder than any applause could ever be. The fallout begins immediately. And it's not just in words, it's in glances, in the way characters carry themselves, in the subtle cracks that appear in a family already stretched thin. Jack is the first to bear the weight of it. For decades, he has been the protector of Heartland, the anchor who believed in traditions, loyalty, and keeping the family grounded. Watching Amy stand beside Nathan feels like watching a thread unravel in the very fabric of the ranch. Jack's eyes tell a story of betrayal, not because he dislikes Nathan, but because he feels Amy has leapt into something without the blessing of the land, without the approval of the ghosts that linger in Heartland's history. Later that evening, he sits quietly on the porch, head in his hands, unable to speak, his silence becoming a wall that even Amy struggles to climb. Lou, on the other hand, does not stay silent. Her reaction is sharper, more vocal. To her, Amy's marriage is reckless, a choice made too soon, and one that will divide the family even further. Lou's protective instincts flare. She isn't only thinking about Amy, but about Lindy, about what kind of father figure Nathan can truly be. Ty's memory is still alive here, she insists, her voice trembling not with anger alone, but with fear. Lou has always clashed with Amy on decisions about the ranch, but this time the clash cuts deeper, touching on love, loyalty, and identity. Even Tim, never one to hold back, throws his judgment into the fire. His words are blunt, almost cruel at first, as he accuses Amy of dishonoring Ty's legacy. But beneath his anger, there's a layer of guilt for not being the father Amy always needed, guilt for not being the kind of man who could guide her through this storm. His anger is a mask, hiding the ache of watching his daughter step into a future he doesn't understand. And then there is Lindy. Her innocence brings the heaviest blow. She doesn't fully understand the meaning of marriage, but she knows her mother belongs to someone new. She asks questions with wide, searching eyes, and Amy struggles to answer them without breaking. In one heartbreaking scene, Lindy clutches a framed photo of Ty, as though holding onto him will keep her world from spinning apart. For the audience, it is a reminder that this story isn't just about Amy's choices, it's about how those choices ripple through generations. The ranch hands and townsfolk add another layer of drama. Whispers move quickly across Hudson. Some say Amy deserves happiness, others whisper that she has moved on too quickly. Old friends show divided loyalties, and the once united community around Heartland begins to fracture. What was once a sanctuary now feels like a house divided, every corner heavy with unspoken tension. Nathan himself becomes a puzzle in the fallout. His calmness, once seen as strength, now makes him appear distant, almost detached. Is he ready to shoulder the weight of Amy's grief, Jack's disapproval, Lou's questions, and Tim's anger? Or will his silence eventually break him apart from the family he has just stepped into? The show deliberately leaves these questions hanging, forcing viewers to wonder whether Nathan is a savior, a stopgap, or a mistake waiting to happen. The beauty of this fallout lies in its honesty. It isn't loud melodrama, it's layered, personal, painfully real. Every character reacts not just from the shock of the marriage, but from the shadows of their own histories, their own losses, their own hopes for Amy. And as the dust begins to settle, one truth becomes painfully clear: this marriage has not united the family. It has splintered it. And that fracture is exactly what sets the stage for the battles and heartbreak still to come in season 19. At its core, Amy's marriage to Nathan is more than a plot twist. It is a mirror held up to the deepest themes of Heartland, reminding viewers that this series has always been about more than just horses and family. It has been about survival, change, and the courage to rebuild when life tears everything apart. One of the strongest themes at play here is healing versus holding on. For years, Amy has been seen as the keeper of Ty's memory, the woman who carried his spirit forward while raising Lindy. Her marriage to Nathan forces us to ask, can healing ever truly happen if we refuse to let go? Is Amy dishonoring Ty? Or is she showing that the only way to survive grief is to step forward into something new, even if it feels wrong to others? This tension between past and future is written into every scene, every look exchanged between characters. The wedding also symbolizes stability versus chaos. Nathan, in his quiet way, represents order. He is steady, reliable, grounded, a man who doesn't bring fireworks but promises safety. To Amy, this safety is not romantic in the traditional sense, but it is necessary. Heartland has always thrived on balance between storms and calm, and Nathan is the calm she clings to. Yet his very presence creates new storms within the family. In this paradox, the show explores whether safety is truly safe if it divides the people you love most. Another striking theme is generational change. Jack embodies the old ways, the traditions of ranch life, the unspoken rule that love must be eternal, loyalty must never falter. Lou and Tim sit in the middle, caught between respecting that tradition and demanding progress. Amy, however, steps firmly into the role of change. Her decision to marry Nathan is not just personal, it signals a shift for the entire ranch. Heartland is no longer only about honoring the past. It is about writing a new story, even if that story breaks the hearts of those who came before. The setting of the ranch itself plays a symbolic role. The land, with its wide fields and timeless mountains, has always been the silent character of Heartland. In this episode, the ranch seems almost restless, winds blowing harder, shadows falling longer, as though even the land feels the fracture caused by Amy's decision. The wedding, stripped of grandeur and staged against this familiar backdrop, turns the ranch into both witness and judge. It asks the same questions the audience does. Is this union a betrayal, or is it the natural rhythm of life moving forward? And then there is the theme of inheritance, not of money or property, but of memory and responsibility. Lindy is at the center of this. Her innocence forces Amy to balance two inheritances, the memory of Ty and the future Nathan represents. Every time Lindy clutches a photo of her father or looks curiously at Nathan, the show reminds us that inheritance is not fixed. It evolves. Children carry both past and future within them, and it is Amy's burden to guide her daughter through that complicated truth. What makes this twist powerful is how it reframes Amy's journey. For nearly 2 decades, fans have watched her as the healer, the woman who mends broken horses, broken people, broken spirits. But now, the question becomes, can Amy heal herself? By marrying Nathan, she is not only searching for companionship, but testing whether her own brokenness can find repair in a new bond. It's risky, it's raw, and it's painfully human. In the end, the themes and symbols of this marriage are not meant to give easy answers. They are meant to spark debate, to challenge the audience's loyalty, and to remind everyone that Heartland, like life, is not about perfect endings. It is about choices. Choices that divide, choices that heal, and choices that define what it means to carry the past into an uncertain future. The shock of Amy's marriage doesn't end at the altar, it's the beginning of a storm that will ripple through every storyline in season 19. The writers have set the stage for one of the most unpredictable chapters in Heartland history, and every character now carries a thread that could unravel into something much larger. First, there is the question of trust inside the family. Jack's silence, Lou's outbursts, Tim's harsh judgment, all of these are more than reactions. They are wounds that could deepen with time. Will Jack find a way to accept Nathan, or will his disapproval drive a wedge between him and Amy, threatening the very unity of Heartland Ranch? Fans know Jack rarely changes his mind once it's made. If his heart hardens against Nathan, Amy may be forced to choose between her new husband and the man who raised her. That kind of choice could split the ranch in two. Next comes the battle over Heartland's future. Lou has always wanted progress, while Jack holds on to tradition. With Nathan now in the picture, that divide may widen. Imagine Nathan proposing changes, new training methods, new business ideas that clash with Jack's way of life. Each disagreement won't just be about money or ranch work, it will carry the heavy weight of whether Amy's marriage was a mistake or a bold step forward. Viewers can expect boardroom-style arguments at the dinner table, with every conversation echoing the larger struggle for Heartland's identity, but perhaps the most emotional foreshadowing lies with Lindy's journey. She will be torn between the memory of her father and the presence of Nathan. Children see truth in ways adults avoid, and her innocent questions will become some of the season's sharpest daggers. Is Nathan my dad now? Or will Daddy be forgotten? Questions like these will cut through the family like lightning. They are not just the words of a child, but the heartbeat of the entire conflict. Can a new love exist without erasing the old one? The writers may also use Nathan's calm exterior to hide deeper layers. His past has never been fully explored. What secrets does he carry? What mistakes has he made that the family doesn't know about yet? There's a sense that his stillness might not be strength, it might be armor. If cracks begin to show, Amy's leap of faith could suddenly feel like a dangerous misstep. Fans should be ready for revelations that turn this quiet man into one of the most complex characters in the series. And then, beyond the walls of the ranch, lies the community's judgment. Hudson is small, and gossip travels faster than wildfire. Old friends of time may resent Nathan. Clients at the ranch may question Amy's choices. The writers could easily weave subplots where the town itself becomes a character, sometimes supportive, sometimes cruel, mirroring the debate that fans are already having online. The season also hints at larger symbolic storms. Horses in Heartland have always reflected human struggles, and viewers may see Amy face a horse that mirrors her own journey, untamed, wounded, but desperate for a second chance. Healing that horse could parallel her attempt to heal her fractured family. The symbolism will remind us that Heartland has never been about clean, easy answers. It has always been about learning to ride forward, even when the path is rough. Be why the end of episode 1. It's clear, Amy's marriage isn't just a twist, it's a fuse lit under the entire series. Every relationship, every tradition, every unspoken truth is now in play. The foreshadowing whispers that season 19 will not be a gentle ride. It will be a gallop into uncharted territory, where love and loyalty collide, and where the heart of Heartland itself hangs in the balance. The moment the episode aired, the Heartland fandom erupted. The twist of Amy marrying Nathan didn't just live inside the show, it spilled out into living rooms, onto social media feeds, and into fan forums that lit up like wildfire. In fact, the debate became almost as dramatic as the storyline itself, as loyal viewers struggled to process what they had just witnessed. For some fans, the reaction was one of pure disbelief. Amy would never do this. Posts began to appear within minutes of the credits rolling. For these viewers, Amy's marriage to Nathan felt like a betrayal, not only to Ty's memory, but to the legacy of the show itself. To them, Heartland has always been rooted in Amy and Ty's epic love story, a bond that defined more than a decade of episodes. The idea of Amy choosing someone else, and so suddenly, felt almost unthinkable. Words like too soon and forced plotline became common refrains in online threads, but not everyone agreed. Another wave of fans rushed in to defend Amy's decision, pointing out the painful but undeniable truth. Real life doesn't freeze after tragedy. Ty will always be part of Amy's story, one fan wrote, but she deserves happiness too. Heartland is about moving forward. For this group, Nathan represents growth, healing, and the courage to rebuild. They argue that the show would feel dishonest if Amy remained frozen in grief forever, raising Lindy alone without ever daring to love again. Speculation grew even hotter when fans started analyzing Nathan himself. Was his calm demeanor a strength or a warning? Some believe Nathan is hiding secrets that could tear Amy's fragile peace apart later in the season. Others see him as a long overdue presence, someone steady enough to keep Amy grounded while she balances motherhood, work, and the heavy expectations of the Heartland Ranch. Entire Reddit threads and Facebook groups have sprung up with titles like "Can Nathan Be Trusted?" and "Team Ty vs. Team Nathan." And then, of course, came the theories. Heartland fans love to look for clues, and this twist has sent theory making into overdrive. Some believe the marriage is temporary, a rushed decision that Amy will regret by mid-season. Others whisper about darker possibilities, a custody battle over Lindy, a clash over the future of the ranch, or even a hidden betrayal waiting to surface. More romantic fans spin the twist as the writer's way of crafting a second-chance love story, one that proves Amy's heart is strong enough to hold both grief and new love at once. The online reaction has created something fascinating. The fandom itself is now split in two. On one side are those clinging fiercely to Ty's legacy, unwilling to let go of the love story that defined the series. On the other side are those cheering Amy on, eager to see her step into a new chapter, even if it comes with pain and risk. This split doesn't weaken the show, it fuels it. Every argument, every theory, every late-night post keeps the world of Heartland alive beyond the screen.